We're north of a place called Wattle in Western Australia, north of Perth, here on the translocation site for Acacia cochlocarpa. This is one of our first major translocations for threatened plants in Western Australia, and it was also set up as an experiment to try to work out what are the important factors for translocation success. Acacia cochlocarpa, subspecies cochlocarpa, is critically endangered, but this particular subspecies only occurs in this area, little area around here. The original site is on a road reserve about 2 or 3 kilometres south of here, where there originally were 50 plants found. Those numbers of plants are down to about 30 odd now, and based on the numbers of plants and the level of land clearing which has occurred throughout this area, so there's very little available habitat for the species was listed as critically endangered. And the first translocation here was started in 1998 by Leonie Monks, and she planted in about 400 to 500 plants, and then we set it up as an experiment about 2 years later, because one of the things we were finding is that we've had some translocations done prior to this and we had not a lot of success, and we were trying to figure out what would be the important factors in ensuring that translocations actually worked. That was quite successful. We were able to get plants flowering, fruiting, producing seeds, but we weren't getting any recruitment. One of the questions Leonie asked later on was, well, what are the key factors in recruitment and how can we deal with that? Some research by one of our colleagues, Colin Yates, showed that fire is a particularly important factor in recruitment for this species, and indeed we know that it's already important for recruitment in acacias generally. So one of the things we wanted to look at was what would happen if we put a fire through this translocation site as an experiment. In 2015, Leonie was able to get a fire put in through here, and it was an extremely successful outcome. Some 900 seedlings came up, and we now have recruited plants, and we have recruited plants which are now producing flowers, or have produced flowers and are producing their own seed. So we're on our way to producing a viable population. Seed material was collected from the original site and stored in the West Australia Threatened Flora Seed Centre. So we have a number of translocations of the species now going, and these translocations have quadrupled the total number of plants, probably 10 times fold the total number of plants now in existence for the species in what would be effectively natural populations. The things we needed to consider in terms of managing once the translocation was set up was, as I indicated, fencing to prevent grazing. A little bit of weed control needed to be done on this site. So we're targeting primarily critically endangered species for our plant translocation program. Primarily the aim of the translocation programs is to provide extra populations, so if extinction does occur in the natural populations, we have backup populations where the plant's still persisting in the wild over multiple generations for the foreseeable future. Setting some of these up as experiments is really critical as well, so we can ensure that we understand and we get more information on how we can ensure translocation success for these species.